so happy to have as my guest today my dear friend and business colleague, Alicia Welcher. She is a Martha Pullen educator, and she teaches at the School of Art Fashion, and she's also a Martha Pullen licensed teacher. Alicia, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Martha. So good to be here again. Today we're going to talk about chain stitch quilting. And so it's something we do with our serger that doesn't necessarily look like we do with our serger, and it's also a different way to use your machine other than for construction techniques. So what we're going to start with is this tote bag here. Now this tote bag, the main construction of it is very simple, but what we're going to talk about today is this piece of construction right here, which creates this quilting. And this is the quilting that is done on the chain stitch. Now a chain stitch on your serger is serged with only one needle, and so from one side it looks like a sewing machine stitch, but on the bottom there is a thread that wraps around the needle, and that is what creates this look of the chain stitch. We've added a little piece of trim here. It's got this cute little piece of gingham peeking up from the lining, and it's just a patch pocket that's on our tote bag. So to make this, what we're going to do, let me step back for a minute. What we're actually going to do first is talk about the chain stitch itself, because you can get a variety of different looks in your chain stitching just by varying your thread weights. Now, your weights of threads can vary anything, like here from a very light cord all the way into here where we're using a twisted rayon cord or even an untwisted rayon cord. And each of these threads gives us a totally different look. Now to start our pocket, what we do is we take a piece of linen blend here, and on the back of this piece is a fused piece of fusible fleece. Now the chain stitch, because like I told you earlier, the chain stitch, the pretty part is actually the part where the looper is looping around the needle thread. That means that we have to sew from the top side of this piece rather than from the bottom, because we want the nice part to be on the bottom. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this over to the serger here, and I'm going to show you how to do this. We have drawn a grid on this piece that's just going to give us a guideline of where to go since we're not looking at the right side of the machine. We're set up for a chain stitch with regular thread in our needle and with decorative thread in our looper. We're going to serge on this, following the line right under the needle. And as we come out the back, what you'll see is that on the back side of this stitch, it has created our nice little chain right through here. Now, if you have a machine that needs to have the thread under, or the fabric under the needle in order to make it stitches, then you are going to start and stop with a leader piece of fabric before you go. So you would start on the leader piece of fabric, serge onto the regular fabric, and then stop with another leader piece of fabric. Now, once we get that whole thing serged, it'll look like this. Now we're going to take that piece there. We're going to take our piece of trim, right side up, on top of that, matching one raw edge. Then we're going to take a piece of gingham that is a ½ inch longer, and we're going to match that all against the one edge that had the trim on it. We're then going to serge just that one edge. Now this one shows that piece serged. And what I want to show you here is, if we go to serge another side, with actually the bottom of this piece, our gingham has been cut longer. So we need to take that gingham and scooch it up so that all of the raw edges match at the bottom side. We're then going to serge that side, keeping those edges matched and leaving a hole in the center for turning. This one here has that hole that's in the center for turning. We're then going to take the bubble that was created there by having our gingham piece be bigger than the other pieces. We're going to take that piece and we're going to squish the bubble all the way up to the top of our piece. Then we're going to, that actually creates a pleat at the very top of this. That pleat is what is going to make our little gingham strip at the top of our piece. We're then going to serge the sides of this, starting at the bottom and moving to the top so that it maintains that pleat. If we started at the top and moved to the bottom, it would push the pleat out. Once we have that done, we can turn it right side out through its opening, press it really well, close the hole that's at the bottom. Either using a fusible product, you can whip stitch it closed by hand, or you can just press it and simply wait until you put it on top of your tote bag. And at that time, your top stitching of the patch pocket onto the tote bag is what will hold the hole closed. And that's our pocket.
I love it.
Beautiful.
And I love the little gingham on the top. That's a wonderful trick.
It is. It's just a cute little piece there, and it matches the inside, and you can put all your lining and everything together just like that. Now, I have a couple of other pieces here that we can show as well. This little bag here is a bag from one of our licensing programs, and this one uses the same chain stitching, but with a little bit heavier cord, and only in straight lines instead of in a grid pattern. Then we also have, in the same idea, we have a little flap on a purse where it's got the same little stitching in there, and that's even a little bit heavier cord in that one. If you want to use just plain old regular serger thread, you can also do that. And this little pillow that we have here has one section of it where we've also done the chain stitch quilting, but this was done just with regular serger thread. So all you have to do is vary your pattern and vary your threads, and you can get all sorts of great looks from your chain stitch quilting.
Oh, Alicia, that is so exciting. Thank you so much.
You are so